I am live. All right. I'm going to go post this link on our website and get some proper posture going. And we're going to play Row, Row, Row Your Boat today. If you are finding this video, you can fast forward about 2 minutes, and that's when the actual instructions shall begin. In the meantime, I'm going to post this on our website. To join, I hope I got to hide the other one, or people will go to the wrong room. Bold, link, edit, settings, open a new window, update. All of our resources are at other website, denverguitarorchestra.com. And so you can go pick up the sheet music there. We're doing Row, Row, Row Your Boat today, and you get to play like you are Slash from Guns N' Roses, where you get to go all the way down to the 10th and 11th fret because you are all that. And that's what we're going to work on. Hopefully the sound is good. We'll have a couple people joining in here in just a second to make sure that I know if the sound is good. I'm going to post our old link over on the other page so people are not confused as to where to go. And a lot of times when people are getting started in guitar, they are thinking, I want to play Bohemian Rhapsody. And what they don't understand is that you got to play easier stuff first, or they don't want to understand that. I think that they are not really interested in learning to play guitar. They're just want to be famous musicians. And so maybe that's true. I don't know if that's true. Probably making that up. All right, let me get to the front page. Let's go grab Row, Row, Row Your Boat today. It's a level 1 song, and it's next to the last song in book number 1. And we're doing one song a week out of each level. So level 1 in the program is all 1-chord songs. Sound is fine. Good. Thanks, Elizabeth. Level 1 chords, or level 1 is 1-chord songs. So there's 5 songs technically, but only 4 of them are you going to work on. I think when I rewrite the book, I'm going to add another one. I found another 1-chord song that's super fun. And doesn't fit any of the rules, by the way. But we have Frere Jacques, 2 different ways, Farmer in the Dell, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and Three Blind Mice are the songs in level 1. And again, they're just designed to get you the basic chords and get you reading tablature and get you started on fingerstyle play. A lot of times people want to play guitar. Well, let's put it this way. Nobody wants to sing and strum. But that's all they teach. For new people is they say, all right, here's 3 chords and now we're going to sing songs from the 60s. And that's a perfectly fine way to play, except everybody quits when they play that way. And so what I want to do is get you a different way to play, which is 1 note at a time, getting the melody out of the ukulele, giant ukulele, getting the melody out of the guitar and out into the world. And whether you sing or not is really irrelevant. What matters is that the guitar is doing all the work for you, and that's what we want to work on. What else do I want to tell you about level 1? Level 1 is about tuning your guitar, holding your guitar, playing melody on your guitar, and learning your 4 basic chords that will then get you ready for level 2. Level 2 is multiple 2-chord songs. A couple of them have 3, but basically it's 2-chord songs. A lot more melody playing instead of 4 or 5 songs. We do about 20 songs in that level, and then that level also sets you up for your intro into true fingerstyle play. Like we really actually teach that. After 4 weeks on guitar, then we switch you to full-time fingerstyle. And then level 3 is this. They're still public domain songs, so they're mostly old-fashioned songs that not everybody, a lot of people know, and it's designed to get you just the last few tools necessary to play guitar well. Level 4 is what it is. It's songs that I think I want to play, that I think are amazing tunes, and Sometimes they're easy to play, and sometimes they're brutal to play, but that's what they are. What they are. Level 5, we do multi-part arrangements, and that's really only for our local group here. And level 6 is for when you're ready to start writing music. That we include that as a separate level. And level 7 is to opening a teaching studio. So all of that stuff is just ways to level up your guitar world and what we do around here all the time. And it all starts with book 1 and row, row, row your boat. Okay, nobody when they buy a guitar is thinking, I'm going to get to play row, row, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat is a stepping stone into all of the other things that you need to do. So let's talk about the chords that are on here, the melody that are on here. I'll play the chord melody portion of that as you will. And we're getting comfortable with reading sheet music. Guitarists for some reason have an aversion to sheet music, so I just double up on it and figure get over that aversion more quickly. Main chord you're going to use on this song is an open D chord. It's index finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret, middle finger, first string, 2nd fret. Ring finger is on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. We generally want to play just the bottom 4 strings. If you hit the 5th string, it's not the end of the world. If you hit the 6th string, it is the end of the world. This doesn't sound right, and so when you're playing, try not to hit that 6th string, especially on electric guitar where you will be sending an E note down to fight its way out with the D chord, and it just is not going to go well. That's when you would need to reach your thumb up over to get that thing to stop. But otherwise, we just shouldn't see your thumb ever. You should be playing your guitar in this position. This is the position we want to teach and to do. It feels weird because the guitar sits down between your legs and it doesn't feel like it's normal. But when you stand up and you go play a concert, the guitar is going to be hanging off your body on a strap at this angle. It's not going to be hanging off your body over here where a lot of people learn to play when they're sitting down. You want to play in the same position sitting down that you would play standing up, and that's this position. Not only that, but this, in terms of posture and ability to play lots of hours without injuring yourself, this is the correct posture. If you play over here, your wrist ends up in that position, and that's not at all going to be comfortable or good for you long term. If you play in this position, now your wrist is straight, and it's exactly what you want. Your thumb stays behind the neck here, pad of your thumb, pat of the back of the neck never shows up. Should never see that, right? That's right there. And then your thumb is always hanging out wherever your middle finger is. Your thumb is right behind that middle finger. So that's how we use that system. Okay. Chord today, D chord. Okay. And we're going to end up learning a different chord when we get into the fingerstyle portion. A D chord way up here on 10, 10, and 11, like this. It's also a D chord up here. Versus this chord. Same chord, much higher pitched version of it here. And very helpful when we're playing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Okay? Let's sing and strum. Choices when you're making strumming. Okay? Thumb down. That's just be row, row, row your boat. That's that one. Okay. You can take the index finger up and down. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. I find that I tend to kind of use my other fingers to help get my index finger doing its job. Row, row, row your, right? Just sort of throwing my finger at it. And that's one way of strumming. Right? You can take all 4 of your fingers actually and have them go down. That's kind of fun. And then come back up with your index finger. Row, row, row your boat. And that's a way to get a lot of sound out of the guitar. The problem with that is you don't have enough control over it to successfully avoid the E string, probably. At least in the beginning you don't. And I still don't. Another way to attack the song is with 4 fingers. Pick any. You're not going to use your pinky ever. But you're going to use the other 4 fingers, grab any 4 strings, not the top one in this case. So you grab those 4 strings like this, or these 4 strings like this. Okay, you want to pluck, row, row, row your boat. That's another way. And then the final way to think about this, since it's in 6/8, you need to come up, if you are a more advanced player, you're thinking, I need a 6 pattern with my fingers. And that's always very pleasant because you can go thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. Row, row, whoops, too fast. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. So that's what you're doing. You want whatever multiple plucking pattern you have on your right hand to match the time signature. So in this case, it's 6. So I have to have 6 plucks in order to make the song, in order to make the melody come out correctly. So you're always thinking about, if it's in 6, I'm probably going to do thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. Or I'm going to do all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other thing with 6/8 time is most of the time you can divide it into 2 sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that way you don't have to do quite as much work with your right hand. Row, row, row your boat. So you do a little less work that way. All right, I'm going to go through first time through. By the way, sheet music's set up to be played 3 times through. First time you go down through into measure 8. And you see above measure 8, you see 1, comma 2 period. That means first time and second time you're going to play into measure 8. Then you're going to go back to measure 1 each time. The third time through, we're going to skip measure 8 and play measure 9. Okay, so that's the first and second repeat. And what we're going to be doing, the first time I'm going to do this. Second time I'm going to do this. Third time I'm going to do this. So that I get some experience doing all 3 of those particular right-hand patterns, and also to be thinking about which way sounds the best with this song. I will probably sing the same first verse over and over and over because verse 2 I can't ever remember, and verse 3 I made up. Okay, so first time through thumb, second time through plucks, third time through arpeggio. Okay, see how we do. 1, 2. Ready, play. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is such a dream. Arpeggio. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Of those 3, right, that's definitely the prettiest way. It makes me sound the fanciest. It makes me sound like I know what I'm doing. The whole entire time, all 3 times through, I've done nothing at all with my left hand. Done all of the work with my right hand. Gotten lots of different ways to play the same song out. Sounds really nice. All right, so there's your D chord. That's something that you got to have memorized as a guitarist. It's going to come up every single time you play guitar. There will be no days in your life when you don't make a D chord. All right, there's that. Now let's go through and talk about the melody, and that's what separates the singers from the instrumental guitarists. The singers, all they need to know is the chords, and the melody is going to come out of their face. But with instrumental guitar, you've got to be able to get the melody out yourself using the instrument without singing. So that's where the tablature comes in. Let's go to the guitar melody line. We'll walk our way through it one time, and then we'll play through it a couple times. So first measure is 2 3s. Use your ring finger for 3s. And you got another 3. And you can play 0 on the first string and then a 2 on the first string. And then 2 0, 2 3, 5, all up on that first string. And then we're going to go all the way down to 10. That's the one after the dot. You got a dot on 9 probably, and you got these 10s. Since you're going to be playing both the first string 10 and the second string 10, you should put your index finger over both 10s. Oh, God, here we go. And that way we get both 10s at the same time and we don't have to move anything twice. And then we're going to go back down to 2 and 3. Probably going to grab this 2 with my middle finger, 3 with the ring finger. And you got a 5, 3, 2, O all on the first string. And then open, and then a 3. Okay, and we're going to play through that a couple times. As a melody player, you start to think about smart ways to handle your left hand to reduce the amount of work. In this song, there are no ones. So playing in first position, which is what I just did, I'm wasting an opportunity because when that 5 comes up, my pinky's got to jump way up here and it pulls my whole hand out of position. So I'd be smarter to play in second position. There are 2s in this song. And then magically, my positional playing covers all of the frets that I'm going to need. I'm going to play the 2s with the index, 3s with the middle, and now it's 5s with my pinky. And so all of the notes that I'm going to need to play, other than the 10s, are underneath my fingers already. So there's way less motion that I got to do, and that's usually preferable. Okay, so let's go for that position. We're going to play through it twice. Okay, we'll go down, we'll play through 8, go back up, play down, skip 8, and play 9. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. To the top. Okay. Whatever the last notes you hit, you just always leave your left hand parked out there and let the guitar finish ringing it out. Always sounds pretty. All right. I think the big takeaway from this song is that when you go way up here on the 10th fret to get those 10s, whatever speed you can play those at, you have to then also play the 2s and the 3s in the next measure at that same speed, and there can't be a break while you're getting down there. So if you play these too fast, if you can't get down here in the same exact amount of time, then you're playing them too fast. No, we're going to do it this way. Okay, no break between the measures. Okay, let's try it one more time, a little bit faster. Can't be a break or a pause between the measures as you get from 10 down to 2. Okay. The other thing that sounds kind of cool, and this especially if you have electric guitar, but even a little bit on acoustic guitar, is this slide down here to get this. It ends up that you'll end up with your index finger on that 2, and you're going to start at 10. It sounds cool. It's a nice technique called called the slide, and sort of a teenage boy type thing, or even a preteen boy, making these sounds on the guitar. Sounds fun, right? And it's something you can incorporate into your playing as a grown-up. Don't do that. All right. So with that 5, we still want to grab with our pinky, but those big long runs up and down the neck, you can create an extra sound that's kind of fun. All right. Last thing to talk about is before we get into playing the chord melody piece, up on the top left, I have an alternate chord D chord. Okay, and so we talk about why this would be an alternate D chord. What this is really, if I bring that shape all the way down here, and then I bring it down even further and get rid of this, what I'm really playing is an E chord. But I'm going to play it at the 10th fret, and it's going to turn it into a D chord. So if I take my E chord, but I use, instead of my normal way of making an E chord, I'm going to do middle, ring, and pinky. And now I'm going to use a bar as I start to go up. So if I slide everybody up one, I get an F. Slide it up one more, I get a G. Slide it up two more, I get an A. Two more to get a B. Now measure on 7, turns into a C. And turn it into, did I get that wrong? Is it on, it's on 10. Where did I make a mistake, guys? E chord, F sharp. That's why I forgot the F sharp. That's what I forgot. I was like, wait, I'm off. E chord on 0, F chord on 1, G chord on 3, A chord on 5, B chord on 7, C chord on 8, and D chord on 10. So if I'm playing a full bar with the E shape in front on 10, I get a D. The challenge here is this is an awful lot of work for what's going to zip by at an incredible rate of speed. So then this is not cheating. This is making smart modifications to make you a better player. You don't really need to play all 6 strings in order to get the feeling of a D chord. You could just play, get rid of your pinky, drop your ring finger, and move your index finger down to a partial bar, and then just play the bottom 4 strings. It's not exactly easy to play, but it's certainly easier. And so that's how D chords end up there. And it's why up on the upper left-hand corner, I wrote that down so that if you are deciding, hey, I want to play this, the whole thing, it's going to sound nice. Give you some chord backup. That's what's going on here. Okay. So we've played the chord, we've played the melody, and in my classes here in town, that's plenty. Okay, so if you're a new guitar player, that's plenty. What you have learned is how to hold the guitar, how to tune the guitar, how to make a D chord, and how to play a melody. Those 4 things are, all guitarists know how to hold their guitar incorrectly. All guitarists know how to tune their guitar, so there's one thing everybody has. All guitarists know how to make a D chord. They don't necessarily know this D chord. And only a handful of guitarists get comfy with playing from tablature, and which is what we do in this program. It should not go past your notice that on the guitar melody line, the 1 note at a time, is represented both in tablature on that line, and then up in the chords and lyrics line, the standard notation line. That is exactly the same notes on that other system. And it's not entirely a terrible idea to start learning some of those notes. Like, you know that from now on, if you hit a 3, that's that D note up there in the standard notation. If you are never going to play academic guitar, if you are never going to college in guitar, you do not need to know how to read standard notation on the guitar. Is it something you should aspire to? Yeah, probably, because it'll make you smarter and better, but you don't have to. If you want to play melodic guitar, most guitar players who are not academically trained will use tablature, and it is an excellent system. It's really, really good on guitar. It has many benefits over standard notation that make it easier and faster and clearer in many respects to playing. than standard notation does. Standard notation does some other things that are really nice, like it tells you exactly how long to hold a note. We can do a lot of manipulating of that line quite easily with very standard tools to get a clearer picture of what the melody and harmony are doing. The challenge with standard notation on guitar is if it says play this G note. Well, that G note shows up in several places on the guitar. Which one do they want? Well, you can't tell in standard notation. You make basic assumptions on what the other notes are around it, but you cannot tell. It's not like on a piano where if it says this D note, that's that one right there. That's that button right there. There's never going to be any other button. It's always that button. On guitar, we have multiple strings and multiple frets and multiple places where different tones can show up. And so we want to just be mindful that while standard notation is the academic choice for playing guitar, it's not all that. There are plenty of things that are just as there are plenty of things that are way better on tablature. And so I like to have both systems together so that you get a chance to begin to get comfy with both systems. And if you're not going into college, you don't have to read the standard notation. But again, I do think it's a smart idea to get where you know a little bit about it. All right. In my classes here in Denver, I don't expect level 1 players to play tough acts, but you're here. You might as well spend a little bit of time with me going through it. That's where we're going to hold the chord and play part of the chord until we hit the melody note. So measure 1, it says 0, 2, 3. 0, 2, and 3, and we're going to play those at once. And then we're going to do that again. And then I'm going to do it again. Then it says 0 on the first string, so I'm going to lift up my middle finger. And then I'm going to put it down to play 0, 2, 3, 2. Then I'm going to play 0, 2, 3, 2 again. I'll lift up my middle finger to get the 0. Put it back down, play 0, 2, 3, 2 again. I'm going to add my pinky to get a 3. And then the hardest part of the song is sliding your pinky up to 5. When you're newer, you can't do it, and eventually you will. Okay. Then you have a 3, 2, which are decorative notes. Now I'm going to take full advantage of that D chord. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to grab the 2 10s, but now I'm also going to add my middle finger on at 11. 10, 10, 10, and then the 11 10s. Now I'm going to go, as soon as I hit that, drop my fingers all the way down and put a D chord on. 2, 3, 2. And then I'm going to move these 3 fingers up to the strings above them. My pinky on again at the 5, and I'm going to use all 4 fingers here. Slide this down to the 3. Take it off. Take off my middle finger. And then I'm going to play just the strings 4, 3, and 2. And then I'm going to pluck 2. So once I get down here after doing those 10s, once I get here and measure 6, this doesn't move at all. It stays absolutely there through the whole thing. I have choices also. Am I going to pluck the strings or am I going to strum those strings? In the case I just showed you, I strummed the first 4 measures and then I went to plucking for the later measures. You can pluck the whole thing or you can strum the whole thing or you can mix it up. All of those are perfectly acceptable solutions. So we're going to start at the top and play to the bottom. Well, let's play through. Yeah, just one time through, and then we'll talk. 1, 2, ready, play. Notice all plucking. Now let's go back up to the top. I'll try all strumming. Ready, play. very different feeling in the song. One sounds more staccato, a little bit cleaner, a little bit neater and nicer when I'm playing it with this way. This sounds a little bigger, a little bit more out of control, a little bit more chaotic, I think. Is one right? One is not necessarily right over the other. I think you kind of get to decide as an artist, hey, I want to play it this way or that way. I also think you got 3 verses, so I think it would be nice for you to mix it up and try different things through there. You might play it through plucking, then play it through strumming, and then strum and sing, right? Or do something different each time you go through. I would say, generally speaking, the reason for repeats is so the singer will have more opportunity to sing the song. And as instrumentalists, we need to think about, well, if they're going to get different lyrics, maybe we should use different techniques or different feelings or whatever on the guitar and try to make it where our audience is having a more meaningful experience. And finally, the last thought here would be to get to fingerstyle, we're going to add in extra notes in between almost all these notes, except for the measures 5 and 6. Notice you have long pauses between row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Really long pause. What we'd like to do in fingerstyle is fill up those pauses with just extra notes. You have extra notes sitting there at measure 4. I added them in because they sound pretty. 3, 2. And you can do the same thing yourself without having any additional instructions simply by holding the chord. So if you have a D chord on and the notes, the first measure is bum, bum. If we added extra notes in between those, as long as we're holding the chord, we can hit any string we want. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so that's adding in eighth notes. You really have to have your claw in good shape to be playing that kind of stuff, and you have to get comfortable with your arpeggio picking. So you take all of that stuff together, and you end up with a nice tune. Let me try playing through the whole thing just one time to see how I can do just on the spur of the moment. 1, 2. Not a great job, but that's the idea behind fingerstyle, is that we're going to take the chords, we're going to take the melody, we're going to take an arpeggio, we're going to run all that stuff together so that really at no point is your guitar hanging out, just letting notes ring out, that you're busy creating all of the sounds happening all at once, using the heck out of your claw. And I think you will end up with something that's really quite powerful musically. And you would start on these simple songs. So if you're an advanced player working on getting that tool set together, you're not going to work on that on some complicated song. You're going to work on that on your easy songs, get your chops together, and then bring it back to your more advanced music. So, all right, that's Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And we've never beaten Row, Row, Row Your Boat quite to death at that level. And there you go. So, you guys, I got a person trying to get a hold of me for the next lesson. So have a wonderful day. I'm going to disconnect the stream, and I will see all of you not tomorrow night. I will see all of you tomorrow night. We don't have our one song concert because I have a condominium association meeting. So no lesson tonight, but tomorrow we will run through all 4 songs from the week. So that should give you something to work on tonight. Get all 4 of those songs in order. DenverGuitarOrchestra.com. You'll find out everything going on, and I will see you tomorrow at this time slot. Have a great night. Thanks, Elizabeth.